Frankie Thieriot Stutes, joined by Lynn Symansky to interview Buck Davidson Jr., who sits down with us on this episode of Behind the Barn for some fun while we play a little Q&A session and get to know some things you may not have known up until now. Before we get started, I'll give you a little insight into Buck Davidson Jr., the son of five-time Olympian Bruce Davidson Sr. Buck has successfully forged his own path in eventing while honoring his father's legacy, making his mark early with a U.S. Pan American team debut at just 22 years of age. He's since become a consistent presence on high-performance lists, competing in nearly 30 five-star events. He's also been a three-time USEF CCI five-star long eventing national champion, no easy feat to say the least. And known for his relentless work ethic, Buck often juggles multiple rides at competitions and has built a thriving program over the past 2 decades. Beyond competing, he's a dedicated coach, mentoring rising stars and shaping the future of the sport. While following in his father's footsteps, Buck continues to do things his own way, and we sure cannot wait to talk to him. But before we get started, a huge thanks to our friends at Flair Equine Nasal Strips. Developed by veterinarians, Flair strips are drug-free adhesive nasal strips that promote optimum health for equine athletes in all disciplines and every level of competition. The strips gently support the soft tissue over the nasal passages to reduce air resistance and improve airflow when your horse needs oxygen most. And we know we'll see Buck rocking those nasal strips on his horses at Kentucky because they really do work. So, Buck, without further ado, now that I'm done with my whole spiel, welcome to the show and thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here, finally.
Well, we have learned over these episodes of Behind the Barn that while these individuals we're interviewing can ride really well, technology is not a strong suit. So we are thrilled to be here, thrilled to be seeing Buck. And Lynn, I'm going to toss it over to you to kick us off.
Yeah, so Buck, this a pretty serious question to start you off. Who do you play for?
USA. I got a few falls, but I can still remember.
So where'd that come from, Buck? Like, I guess you were so young when you made your first Pan Am team. What really, did that feel like you'd finally made it, or you finally realized that you were really, really old, that you were captaining a team?
Well, yeah, when I got asked to captain a team, I thought, oh my God, I'm not really this old. But yeah, it was sort of important to me to like have a bit of fun because we didn't have a lot of fun when I did my first one, and so it was the whole who do you play for thing was obviously watching Miracle, and we went over to my huge, fancy, lavish mansion I live in, and sat in front of the big screen and watched the movie, right, Lynn?
Yeah, Buck is a pretty good team player, and I've known him forever, but it's pretty special when you get to, have it all come full circle. And you're probably still running around that neighborhood right now, trying to get to somewhere that has Wi-Fi.
I did. I know the whole neighborhood. I know where the best Wi-Fi is. Luckily, my friend, Randy Ward, has a very fancy house in this place. It's much fancier than mine. And it actually has Wi-Fi, so that works.
Going to all lengths for Behind the Barn, for sure. If one of your top horses were to create a dating profile for you, about you, we want to know what they'd say.
I don't know. They're probably not too complimentary, I'm sure. Definitely not smart. That would be for sure. That would be like top of the list, I would say.
You think your horses think they're all smarter than you?
That would not be difficult. Now, yeah, I'm not saying I have smart horses, but...
Well, this dating, I don't know if you're going to get any dates. Okay.
How about this? Now they think I'm pretty smart.
But yeah, here, I'll match you here because I actually have to read.
There you go.
So you seem to dip your toes in other business ventures from time to time and have a deep love for other sports. What's kept you a loyalist in eventing for all these years other than your bloodlines?
I wasn't any smarter.
Okay. What else? Let's go beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm lucky to be able to make a living at something that I love. And obviously the horses are first and foremost. And, that I enjoy working with horses and working with people and trying to figure out how to make living, different living, breathing animals work with us, and I enjoy trying to get other humans to be able to work with animals as well. And so it's when it all works, obviously it's unbelievably satisfying. And when it doesn't, it just takes the bad days to make the good days look better.
Do you see yourself sticking around as long as your father has in the saddle?
No, I don't think. But like, we're completely different, obviously. And, the truth is that, he did it for a long time, but he didn't, I remember as a kid, like when he rode 4 horses at an event, that was a huge deal, right? Like, like the sheer numbers of horses that I rode. I don't know the stats, but I would bet you I have as many. I have more starts than he probably did in his career. And the numbers sort of came in kind of as he was winding down. Like he never rode 15 horses at a competition or 18 horses at a competition that sometimes I did. And Dad just loves it. He just loves horses, and he thinks about horses and thinks about the training and galloping and all the kind of stuff, and that's all he wants to do. If he was going to go on vacation, which he never does, he would want to go riding somewhere. And although I love it, I'm happy enough doing something else too.
How old?
Go ahead.
How old do you think you were when you finally realized how unique and special and gifted and different your father was, and wasn't just your father?
That's a great question. I don't know. For the longest time, right, it was just like me and my sister would get packed in the back of the car and we would drive to Kentucky and he would win. That was just what happened, right? It seemed like we were either going to Pleasant Hollow or we were going to Kentucky. And they were all early in the morning, and
he would always win.
You'd always win, and by the end of the drive, Nancy and I were in some sort of fight. It was just, to be honest with you, it hasn't really been that long, like it was, it would have been in the last 20 years, to realize kind of what is, all the things that he did, and, that how hard it was, and not just, but to be the top of the sport for 3 decades, and to have that drive and that desire, and have the horses. Dad was single-minded. He was riding horses. He was going to win the event, and God help anybody else if he didn't,
Well, there's a statue of your father at the front of Rolex Stadium, as we all know. If you were to have a bronze statue designed after you at Kentucky Horse Park, where would it go, and what would it be of you doing?
Well, where would it go? That's a good question.
You know the park so well, so you can pick a spot.
It would probably go underneath the stands with me crying, because I think apparently the first thing that happened to me in Kentucky is when my dad won the World Championships in Kentucky. I was 2 and I was playing under the stands, and my mom grabbed me and we left my tractor apparently and under the stands. And so I was pretty hysterical, I guess, about the whole thing. And I think that would be probably where it should be and probably where it would be. But great story about the statue. When I was a kid, that people would come up and ask Dad for his autograph or whatever, ask his opinion. I said to Dad that one day people are going to call you Buck's dad, And we were walking down the road towards the warm up in Kentucky, past the statue, and Dad and I were just walking. There's hundreds of people. And all of a sudden, somebody said, "Well, what's that?" And they said, "Oh, that's a statue of Buck's dad." And I went, "See, And so they know we were right in front of them. But yeah,
That's
so
amazing. Did you pay the person or it was authentic?
it was actually authentic, believe it or not.
So, Buck, what would be the biggest regret in your career you've had to date?
Jeez. Biggest regret. I mean, there's probably a lot of them. Biggest regret. I don't know. I mean, I think every situation you learn something, right? If you're not winning, you're learning. And for sure, I've done a lot of learning in my career. And, you know, I've had some really good days. I've been very, very lucky. I've ridden some really good horses. I've had some amazing owners. I've, made unbelievable friends doing this. So I don't think, there's a reason the rear view mirror is much smaller than the front windshield, right? And so I want to just kind of keep looking out the front windshield and don't worry about what happened in the past. And, of course, I wish I had ridden some horses better. I wish I had done this, that, or the other thing, there are, things that, a tenth of a point here, tenth of a point there, it's 5 national championships. But, a tenth of a point here, a tenth of a point there, I got none, you just sort of got to keep moving forward and, keep appreciating everything that I've been able to do and fortunate to hopefully keep trying again.
It's a pretty decent answer.
Yeah, I thought very well played. Well done, sir. We give you a good grade.
All right.
For you, though, I mean, obviously you've been coming to the Defender Kentucky 3-Day event forever, but for you over the years, what's changed in your approach to coming to big events like this one? I mean, what's different about you now than, a 20-some-year-old Buck Davidson coming to a big event like this?
Well, if we want to go back a lot further than 20-year-old, but getting ready for a 12-hour drive in the back of a 911 Porsche with your sister, you're ready, right? So the seats have gotten bigger and more comfortable, that is for sure. And, what's changed? I don't know that a lot's changed, to be honest with you. Like, I still talk about to students and things like that, take time to appreciate how lucky you are, when you drive in. It's exciting, right? It's, I'm coming from Florida now, and it's, you get, Kentucky, the grass looks different, everything looks greener. And, you do have to take a minute to appreciate how lucky we are, right? I've been fortunate to do it for so many years, and, but I do really appreciate every time I go in there. And, I do honestly take a second to just be thankful that I get to do it. And one of the things that I do with whoever's with me or whatever, if I have multiple horses that whoever's grooming or whatever, I let them get on one of the horses and we just go for a hack, so they kind of get the experience as well. Because I think it is something special. If you don't, we're always thinking about the next thing and worrying about, what's going to happen. And, you do. For me, I think it's helped me sort of be successful there, and that I sort of take the time to appreciate it and take the day to sort of let it all soak in and be cool with being excited, right? If you're not excited to be there, what is the point in doing this? And then, then the next day you're ready to go.
You probably have the advantage of having practiced that since you were in the womb going there, Yeah.
Have you ever thought of well, Dad won every time, so maybe for once we should just try Dad, all right, get the car. Me and my sister, we're going to get in the back. I'm going to huddle up.
That's awesome.
And then when we get there, you're going to let me out, and I'm going to be so glad to be there. And then let's just see if I win every single time.
Exactly.
I mean, it might be a flashback, something to try. We talk about people being really superstitious. I might ask him to, bring that sucker out.
He doesn't need another superstition here.
Yeah. I think if I were to do something like that, I would be driving. My sister would be in the front seat. And my mom and my dad in the back seat, because that would be.
Oh my God!
I don't know. That would be
like a reality show.
Yeah, exactly. It would be exactly the way it was 30 to 40 years ago, right? Like it would be me and my sister in the back,
Yeah.
big turn, slamming each other into the corner. You know?
I think you should just do that. But all you tell, Carol and Mr. Davidson Sr. is, hey, we're going for a little joyride. I'm gonna need you to be ready at this time. I'll be picking you up.
Yeah,
Just turned out to be pretty long.
My mom would be early and my dad would be late, and he would say no anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Blindfold him.
My sister would be no chance. Zero chance if she showed up for that one. She wouldn't even find the humor in it.
I wonder what it's going to take to get the gang back together. Full
I'm
reunion.
into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Buck, a lot of people know that you are a superstitious guy. Do you have any particular strategy on cross country morning at all, other than your superstitions? Has that changed over the years? What do you usually end up doing?
Yeah, I have my little things that I do, and this show is for sure not long enough to talk about them all. But no, I mean, each horse obviously is different. Some I ride in the morning, some I lunge, some go for a hand walk, some do dressage. It just depends on the horse. The actual sort of professional part of this is probably, just been geared to whatever the horse needs kind of for the last however many years. Superstitions have pretty much stayed the same.
Would be the weirdest one, or one that a lot of people don't know about you?
The weirdest one?
You can't tell us.
I can't tell you. Right?
Do you throw stuff away? If you fall off and it really sucks, do you throw that item away? Because I did that. I'm just asking. I had pants I always wore, and then if it really went south, I'm like, these pants are dead to me. We're done here.
Yeah, I had 3 rides at Radnor one year, and I fell off. First horse, I threw out the breeches, boots, back protector, hat, every single thing. Threw them out, got a new one on. Something went wrong on the second horse, I threw all that out. And by the time the third one was ready, I was good to go.
You were good. You had no tack left, but it was all borrowed, and then you told them you weren't returning any of it.
Exactly. It's funny enough, my dad's pretty superstitious, but he was he had to have things. He could never use anything new, and I'm like the opposite. I like things new. So.
Do you think your students get excited when you have a bad day and they know you're going to get rid of some of your stuff?
Going to the trash can? Yeah, they probably do. I mean, I honestly, I'd never thought about that.
They're in the rider tent. Everyone's like, "Ah!" And they're like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Been eyeing that whip.
Yeah, exactly.
Something to look out for. The repurposed materials.
Yeah, it is bad. It does, but I think I've actually mellowed in that way a little bit. Honestly, I probably just forget to bring that many clothes. I always used to remember, I always brought one more pair of breeches than I had rides, because I figured if I fell in the water, then I'd want to have a new pair of breeches. But now I think if I fell in the water too many times, I'd probably just go home.
If you could trade places with any equestrian, it doesn't have to be in this discipline, anywhere in the world, any gender, who would it be and why?
Ruby Walsh, a jump jockey between AP McCoy and Ruby Walsh, but the style that he did, that he rode with, he just wanted to ride on the big days. He didn't care about the little races so much, and he was just an out and out winner. And he rode, as they say, he rode every fence rode to the last fence like it wasn't there, And no matter how many times he tipped up, he still kept going, And he, his knowledge of racing and his way of allowing horses to travel is unbelievable.
All right. Well, we have a quick mini game, so we're going to play 2 truths and a lie. Oh, Buck, you've prepared 2 truths about yourself and a lie, and Lynn and I are going to try to guess which is which, and hopefully that's not on your daughter's homework, because there's going to be a little bit of questioning tomorrow at school if so. Looks like it's on a nice drawing. See, I knew it was on something. I too am a parent, folks. All right, so hit us with them and we'll see what we can get right.
Okay. I have ridden a Grand National winner, a Badminton winner, and a Kentucky Derby winner. I was on the dean's list at the Lawrenceville School, and I've been dragged out of a house by a member of the royal family.
Are we just going to guess? Are we going to ask questions
You
or
can
just
ask
guess?
a question. Go ahead.
No.
How did they drag you?
Huh?
How did they drag you?
What do you mean, how did they drag me? They
Out
grabbed
of
me
the
by
house. How did they drag you?
They grabbed me by my feet and pulled me out.
What grade point average do you have to get to be on the dean's list?
Probably pretty low.
Okay, now I have no idea, Lynn, so you guess first.
I was going with B, but maybe A just because he's trying to trick us.
I'm going to say A.
A.
I'm
A
gonna
Derby winner, a Kentucky Derby winner. When did they have to be breeding?
I think he would have done that in his life somehow. I'm gonna go with B.
Okay, I'm going to go A.
So A or B is what?
Well, which one's the truth?
The lie.
The lie. Which is the lie?
I thought it was two truths and one lie, no?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think the lie is A, and Lynn thinks the lie is B.
Lynn is correct.
Ugh, she's always correct.
As long as I read them in order.
The dean's list. You did not make the dean's list.
Yes, I did make the dean's list.
Oh shoot!
And Lynn is wrong. I'm wrong. And Lynn's wrong.
So what is-
he wasn't dragged out by his feet.
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
I have not. I have ridden a Grand National winner and a Badminton
I
winner. but
knew it. That was.
I've never won a Kentucky. I've never ridden.
See,
a
I
Kentucky
told you the
Derby.
Kentucky Derby winner, it would have had to go breed. It
Yeah.
wasn't A.
So
I win.
I got
you do.
dra-
You
I got
always
dragged
win.
out. Yes, I got
I'll
dragged
take
out
it.
by
By your
Zara,
feet.
by my feet when we were at the '96
Nice.
Olympics, and I made the dean's list at Lawrenceville once. That was good enough. I proved I could do it, and that was it. I didn't need to do it again.
Have you been dragged out by more than one member of the royal family?
Is Mark counting me?
Well, some circles, yes. We know the fans always have the best questions, even better than ours. So we're going to take a few from the audience. So Jeff from Arkansas, he wrote in and asked, does Buck wear racing goggles because he's similar in stature to jockeys? What's his favorite color? And does he tear off goggles and wear multiple like in racing?
The reason that I wear the goggles is I get kicked in the face, and it's ever since then. Like I have blue eyes, and
Like when you fall off, you mean?
No, I get
When
kicked
he
in the face. I was
Okay.
smoking worse,
Okay.
and
Just in general.
but ever since then,
Unloading.
in the
Okay.
in the sun, I close my right eye, so the goggles cut down the glare, and so obviously it's much easier to see a distance when you have both eyes.
What happens if like you drop in the head of the lake and you get water? You're just like, hold on, windshield.
Yeah, it usually goes away, and if it's bad, I just take them off.
Okay.
And if I fall in the head of the lake, then I throw them away.
Do you have a color that you wear?
I have a bunch of different colors depending on the light.
I like that.
But there's not a specific
Not a set pair.
color, but like darker is better. But it does. Even going low levels, that like you don't question yourself as much. It's crazy.
Kind of interesting. Maybe you need to
I just learned that about light
Lynn's
eyes.
getting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The blue eyes. Except Buck, I think if you were that good, you would be able to feel the distance and not just see it. So
I'm not that. And see all these scars on his body, like this shit.
He wants all the things he can get.
So Alexis from Florida, she wants to know if you feel any added pressure competing at the Kentucky Horse Park when your father was such a legacy there.
Nope. No. I mean, it's no. It's for whatever reason, it's never bothered me. It never. Yeah, I don't go, oh man, I got to really do well here because my dad did. I don't know. It's not that way. Like, just look, there's you can only, pressure doesn't, I think I enjoy the pressure of Kentucky, right? Like, I enjoy My focus would be a lot better probably there than a lot of places, where it matters more. And so I think that part, but none of it has to do with my family in any way.
Speaking of family, have the girls given you any perspective just about that? I mean, I know they ride and they're pretty competitive. I've seen videos of them racing your dad up the hill. He's making sure that the competitive streak runs strong. I mean, what kind of perspective has that given you? Because, being such a top athlete for so long and then now having these two little girls, I would imagine there's some perspective in that.
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, like Aubrey and Ellie, I mean, they, I pulled up on a horse this weekend at a horse show, and then I took the kids from school and had to take a saddle to the get fixed because the billet had broke. And Ellie's like, "Oh, Dad, that's your cross country saddle. You're not going to be. What are you going to do without a cross country saddle? Maybe that's why you didn't make it around the horse show because your saddle was broken." And, you know what? I'm going to use that one, Elle.
Thank you, Ellie.
It's everybody says the same thing, right? Like they don't care whether you win or lose. It's like last year at Fair Hill, you finish and hadn't been a lot of people that finished and people want to talk to you, whatever. And the kids, they want to show you how fast they roll down the hill because it's a big hill at Fair Hill, by the box. And then they want a snack, As soon as you're done doing what you do, at the end of the day, my first job is taking care of them. They've definitely, given me some perspective in life for sure, and realized that, taking them to school, picking up at school, and going to practices and stuff like that are the reason I had them. I want to be part of their life, and I love that part.
Well, Buck, before we send you back off and back to the barn, tell us a little bit about what you're thinking and feeling when you go down that ramp at Kentucky. Every single time, every different horse. What would be a common theme that you're thinking as you're having those final thoughts before you're getting ready to go around the ring for dressage or go into the ring on your best placed horse into the final show jumping round?
I'm not sure that I think about anything other than doing the best I can do. I've gone down that rim. I don't know how many times, but a lot. And on all kinds of different ones. Some that were really, really good and some were really, really not very good. And, the first time I ever did the show jumping in Kentucky, I think I knocked down every single fence, but one maybe. And so the next time I went back, I remember as I was going down the thing, my mom said to me, "Well, don't worry, it can't be worse than last time." And I jumped one of the only clears that year. And every time I go down the ramp, I think of that. I think it can't be worse than that, And so I've had some obviously bummer days, but I've had some pretty, horses that never jumped clean before have jumped clean there for me on Sunday. Think of, Mystic Mike, Titanium, Carlevo, Cam last year. That was, kind of cool. And then you have the Bobbies and Reggies that kind of you expected to, So, so I guess on the show jumping day, I sort of go just like that. Oh, well, it can't be that bad. And the dressage, I don't think you really have time. I don't know. You don't have time to think about it, right? You just I don't know, just trying to get through it, right?
Survive.
And I don't think I've been fortunate to have some that were pretty good in the dressage, but I've never been thinking, oh man, I can't miss it. If I just mess this up, I'm not going to win. That's not been a problem before, So I just have been able to go in there and try to do the best I could possibly do, and sometimes it's been awesome and sometimes it hasn't been.
Well, we're definitely going to be rooting for you this year. We can't wait to see you do it and how it all comes together on the final day, but on every single day of the event. For our viewers, don't forget to send in your questions for our riders on the upcoming episodes of Behind the Barn. You can do that via email at info@athletics.com. And don't forget to share this episode with your friends, your family, your students, everyone else you can think of. Huge thanks to Flair Equine Nasal Strips for sponsoring this episode of Behind the Barn, as well, of course, as to our friend Buck Davidson Jr. for taking time out of his busy schedule to join us. I'm Frankie Thieriot Stutes, and on behalf of myself and my co-host Lynn Symansky, that's it for this episode of Behind the Barn. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys again soon on our next episode.